So I want to talk to you about something that comes up all the time when we're playing craps. You get that first hit, now what? Do you collect it? Do you press it? Do you start pulling your money down? For me, it's not that first hit that where I want to regress. I want to use that hit to apply pressure, and then if I get a second hit, that's where I start moving towards safety. Today, what I want to do is I want to walk through that sequence, the pressing the first hit, this regressing after the second hit, and then building from there. So some players are going to hear that and they're going to ask, why not regress after that first hit? And there's really nothing wrong with that if that's what your main goal is to reduce your risk as fast as possible. But the way that I approach it is that I want that first hit to do just a little bit more work. So I use that payout to increase my layout without having to reach back into my rack to get more money on the table. Now, I'm not pressing because I think that number has to repeat. I'm pressing because I decided on a sequence before the dice even were thrown. $160, and they're just going to put it on a line. The dealer will come in and they'll take the 160 and they will put it across. So it'll be 25 on the 4, 25 on the 5. It'll be 30 on the 6, 30 on that 8, 25 on the 9, 25 on the 10. Now let's say that the first hit is a 6. That's going to win $35 on that 6. And let's pay out this 5 here in singles. What we'll do is we'll take $32 of that, and then they will pass the other $3 off to the player. And let's make just nickels. 2, 3, 4, 5. And what they're going to do now is they're going to spread across the bets. So that's going to be next year. So that's going to be next year. $5 on the 4 and make it 30. 30 on the 5. We'll go $6 on that 6 to make it $36. Same thing on the 8. And we'll go 5 more on the 9 and 10. So now what we have is we have $30 on the 4, 30 on the 5, 36 on the 6, 36 on the 8, 30 on the 9, and 30 on that 10. And the player will just take the $3 off the table and put that in their rack. Now let's say the second hit is a 5. That's going to pay out $42. And between the first and second hit, the shooter has now produced $77. And this is where I regress. So I'm going to ask them to take my bets down. And what they'll do is they'll come in like this. And ask them to go 66 inside. So they're going to take $66. That's 50, 65, 66. And they're going to stack the rest of it and push it back to you. And that's going to be for up to you to take that. Then they're going to take this and they'll make it look like 66 inside. So 66 inside it looks like 15 on the 5, 18 on the 6, 18 on that 8, and 15 on the 9. That's what 66 inside looks like. So what you're doing now is, let's go through this once. Let's see what they gave you back. They gave you 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 100. 125, 135, 145, 155, 160. So this is your original 160 that you're getting back. Plus you're getting an extra $8. So that $8 there and the original $3 that you got back is your $11 profit off of this play. And you still have that $66 working inside. So the first hit created the pressure, the second hit created the protection. And now we're at 66 inside for free. So from here I move into scheduled betting. So next time one of my numbers hits, I use that $15 from the payout to place the field. Now I still have $36 inside, but I also have temporary coverage on that field now. And then when that field hits, I take the field down. I use the $30 to place both $15 on the 4 and $15 on that 10. Now that brings me back all the way across on my bets with money produced during the hand. And at this point, the scheduled part of the strategy is complete. Now, once I'm all the way across on my bets, I move into what I call trend betting. And from that point forward, I basically press the number that hits. So I'm not trying to predict what number is coming up next. What I'm doing is the shooter will determine which number gets the pressure going forward. So in other words, if the 6 hits, that 6 is going to earn some pressure. We're going to put extra money onto it. If that 9 hits, that 9's going to earn extra pressure. We're going to put some more money onto it. So in other words, that layout develops according to how that shooter is actually producing. Now, pressing that number does not mean that I put the entire profit from the previous hit back onto the casino layout. But as a general guideline, what I do is I put about 40% back onto the table, and I bring about 60% back to the rack. Now, that exact split is not always, perfect because, the chip amounts and the payouts, they don't usually divide out evenly. But that's fine because the point is I want to keep more money moving back into the rack rather than staying exposed out on that table. Now, I want the numbers that are producing to grow, but I also want to keep on collecting. The goal is not to finish the hand with the largest looking bets on the table, although that does look impressive. But the goal is to finish with more money in that rack that's protected. Now, when I say trend betting, I'm not saying that the number is guaranteed to hit or to repeat, or I'm not saying that the number is due. And I'm also not saying that any of the previous rolls change the mathematical odds of the next roll. I'm simply responding to what has happened during the hand. A number produces, and that number earns the next press, basically, is all I'm saying. Of course, I'm not saying that every shooter is going to give us 2 hits or more. Some shooters will 7 out before that first hit. Some shooters will give you that first hit and then 7 out before that second hit occurs and before we can even regress. Now, that's part of the risk of playing craps, but this method does not eliminate losing shooters. Now, I know what that first hit is supposed to accomplish, and I also know what that second hit is going to do for me, but I also know when I need to move into trend betting. After the shooter is finished, I can use the tracker to reveal the broader result. The tracker does not replay every individual number or every chip movement. What it gives me is a larger record of session. I can look at the shooter number, the shooter length, the average roll length, and what happened to the bankroll. Over time, that helps me compare results across multiple shooters and multiple sessions. The tracker does not predict the next roll. It gives me a more objective record of what actually happened. The shooter number, the shooter rolls or shooter length, the average roll length, the shooter bankroll result, session bankroll result, relevant analysis summary. I also want to be clear that this does not remove the house edge. It does not make craps predictable, and it does not guarantee income. This is a method for controlling and making betting decisions more structured. Now, you still need a bankroll, a loss limit, and a discipline to stop when you reach that limit. But a betting plan is not a replacement for discipline. It should support it. So that's the basic idea behind pressing the first hit and regressing after the second. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a defined position. We're going to use that first hit to apply controlled pressure. And then we're going to use that second hit to recover that original investment and then move more into a more safer position. We're going to complete that scheduled betting sequence, and then we're going to press the number that hits while continuing to pull more profit back into the rack than what we put out onto the table. If you want a simple way to track shooter length, average roll length, bankroll results, the Prospector Dice Tracker is available for free, and I'll leave that link in the description below. But whether you use the tracker or not, decide the sequence of the dice before they're moving. Know what that first hit is supposed to do. Know what your second hit is supposed to do. And then also know when you're going to be moving from scheduled betting into trend betting. that gives you a plan to follow instead of trying to make every decision under pressure at the table. My name is Joe, and this is my Craps Master Journey. Let's make it yours too.